Tide of Serenity, a life-changing lesson. Introduction. What if the chaos you feel isn't caused by the world, but by the stories you tell yourself? I'm Kalen Vale, and this isn't just a tale. It's a spark to light your path to inner calm. Inspired by Tide of Serenity by Varen Holt. This story of a young dreamer's journey from turmoil to tranquility will seize your heart, weave suspense, and unveil a truth to reshape your life. It's not about controlling life's storms. It's about finding peace within them. Plus, you'll boost your English fluency with vivid, clear ideas. Grab a notebook. Let this fuel your resolve. Your next choice could change everything. Ready to rise? Let's dive in. The story. In a windswept hamlet cradled by rolling meadows and ancient oaks, lived 23-year-old Torin, a bard apprentice whose voice could stir souls, but whose temper fractured his dreams. He longed to sing ballads that echoed through time, but anger flared its slights, a heckler's jibe, a friend's jest, or a missed note. As a boy, his melodies and quick wit won praise. Torin will sing for kings, villagers said, their eyes bright with hope. His teacher, a seasoned bard, saw him as a future legend. Torin believed them, practicing late into the night, crafting songs, and envisioning a life where his voice moved mountains. The first struggles, but life, as it often does, struck a discordant chord. Torin's first failure came at the hamlet's harvest festival. His ballad faltered under a heckler's taunt, earning only polite claps. He brushed it off, muttering, "Next time I'll soar." Then came a regional minstrel contest. His voice cracked, and judges dismissed him. He sought tavern gigs, but his sharp retorts to rowdy crowds cost him work. At home, he snapped at his sister over trivial disputes, their shouts echoing through the cottage. Each time, Torin vowed to stay steady, but anger surged, unraveling his peace. Villagers whispered of his outbursts. His teacher's encouragement grew strained. Torin's spirit dimmed, his dreams fading like a forgotten tune. The weight of anger. One starlit night, after a tavern patron mocked his song, Torin retreated to his loft, the wind's howl mirroring his unrest. A flickering lamp cast shadows across his lute and crumpled lyrics. His hands trembled as he gripped a broken string, its snap a rebuke of his failures. Tears fell, quiet and heavy. "Why?" he whispered to the dark. "I pour my soul into every note. I try to stay calm. Why does anger always win?" The night offered no answers, only the weight of his doubt. For the first time, he feared his temper would silence him, that serenity was beyond his reach. The turning point. At dawn, Torin wandered the meadows, his steps heavy, his heart raw. The hamlet stirred. Farmers tended fields, children sang, bards strummed, but Torin felt adrift, a note lost in the wind. His path led to a quiet grove, its oaks standing like silent sentinels. There sat Elder Lyss, a poet whose verses soothed troubled minds. She was mending a torn scroll, her fingers steady despite age. As Torin approached, Lyss looked up, her eyes sharp yet kind. "Young bard," she said softly, "your soul carries a gale. Sit, share your burden." The lesson. Torin sank beside her, the grove's calm grounding him. Words poured out, raw and trembling. "Elder," I try to sing, to stay steady, but anger overtakes me. A harsh word, a mistake, and I break. I fight it, but it grows. Is peace not for me? Lyss listened, her silence a steady balm. When Torin finished, she smiled faintly. "Child, anger doesn't come from the world. It rises from the knots you haven't untied within." Torin frowned, but I try to stay calm, to hold it back. It always spills out. Lyss lifted the scroll, its tears half-stitched. "If I mend this with a weak thread, what happens?" she asked. "It tears again," Torin said. "And if I stitch again with that same thread?" "It'll rip," he murmured. Lyss's eyes gleamed. "Exactly. You, Torin, are that thread. Your passion, your voice, your heart. They fill every song. But your knots, expecting praise, clinging to control, let anger through. Until you untie those, peace will slip away, no matter how much you try. The revelation. Torrin's breath caught. The truth rang like a clear note. Lyss drew a polished pebble from her satchel and handed it to him. When anger rises, what do you guard? She asked. Torrin paused. My pride, my worth, not myself. Lyss's voice grew firm. That's why anger lingers. You fight others' words, their slights, but not your own patterns. Needing approval, resisting chaos. Until you release those, their storms will stir yours. Torrin gripped the pebble, its weight anchoring him. He saw it now, snapping at hecklers, arguing to prove his skill, resisting life's discord. His heart raced, not with rage but with awakening. How do I stop? He whispered. Lyss's hand rested on his shoulder. Don't fight. Watch. Before you react, there's a breath. Most miss it, but it's your freedom. Don't ask, why am I angry? Ask, must I carry this? Anger needs your consent to thrive. Let it pass, and it fades like a breeze. The transformation. That night, Torrin lay awake, Lyss's words a melody in his mind. He didn't need to silence the world. He needed to find his own stillness. The next day, he began small. When a tavern-goer jeered, he paused, felt the pebble, and let the words drift. He noted his triggers, seeking validation, fearing failure, and released them. Some days, anger flared. Old habits tugged, but he caught himself, choosing silence over strife. Climax and resolution. Months passed. Torrin's songs grew richer, his presence calmer. Suspense simmered. Could he hold his peace? At the Hamlet Spring Festival, he sang a ballad, steady despite a heckler's taunt. Heart-pounding, he finished, and the crowd roared. When judges named him the Bard's Laurel, his teacher beamed, but Torrin's true triumph was within. He'd untied his knots. Later, when a feud divided the Hamlet, Torrin didn't snap. He sang to soothe tensions, his calm a bridge between hearts. He began guiding others, teaching friends to pause before reacting. One, quick to quarrel, learned to breathe through disputes. Another, stung by criticism, let pass. Torrin's serenity rippled, harmonizing the Hamlet. He wasn't flawless. Slights, errors, tempers lingered, but they were breezes, not gales. He savored small joys. Meadow's song, children's laughter, the strum of his lute. Each moment deepened his calm, like roots in steady earth. Years later, Torrin, now a master bard, stood before apprentices, holding a worn pebble. They leaned in, eager. One choice, to release anger. Tune my path, he said. Your storms aren't your fate. They're your guide. Pause, let go, and find your calm. His students, inspired, sang ballads that stirred souls. Torrin, once a spark lost to anger, became a beacon of serenity. Call to action. This tale burns with truth. Peace isn't won by fighting life, but by releasing your need to fight. Like Torrin, you hold a spark. Don't battle the world. Watch yourself. Pause before reacting. Release one expectation daily. A 1% shift compounds into unshakable calm. Let one slight pass. Breathe through one moment. When anger rises, ask, must I carry this? Share this with someone caught in turmoil. Comment, I spark my serenity.